Your court television news starting now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a breaking news edition of the NJCourts TV news channel. I'll be your host this morning, NJCourts. And boy, oh boy, do I have some breaking news to break to you all. As a matter of fact, just give me a minute or so we can let the notification go out. And it'll give me a minute to, I guess, refresh my screen since I lost all my open tabs that I had ready to go. But it's all right. Gives it a minute for the notification to go out. So let me just get set up once again. I promise I was kind of prepared. But for the most part, I think audio is good. Let me just jump over to my comment section and make sure that everything else is going all right. Hopefully you guys will let me know if the stream's coming in any way, shape, or form that's not acceptable by you, the audience, which should be coming in at 720p, hopefully 1080 soon as we can upgrade to the premium edition of StreamYard. And the audio should be a lot better now that we're using a Rode microphone studio setup. So, good morning, everybody. Good morning to all my mods. Good morning to all the members of the jury. Good morning to all the viewers in chat. There's already 100 of you. So, unfortunately, as I still going to continue, as I always like to usually go down and say hi to everybody this morning for the sake of the fact that we already have 100 people in chat. And I'm sure all of you are just ready to go with today's breaking news. We'll just get to it. So let's just wait for that notification to go out one more time. And in the meantime, let me get my open tabs up. And we're going to just get straight to it. We got a lot of information to share with y'all. And then that's been pretty much it. I know there's people that are asking me about what's his face, and I'm going to talk about it at the end. So if you have questions about Saint, which I've already addressed, but some of y'all seem to either miss the last few times I've addressed it, or either just trolling, which I am sure you're trolling. Either way, I'll give you a quick update as to what I think is going on with Saint, because I did have a chance to look at his file today, his most updated case note. I guess people have said that they think he might have been released, even though nobody's told me why they think that. I'm going to read with you what I have, and that's it. I don't know yet. Why don't you all call in the jail, because you can, it's public number, and find out for yourself instead of bugging me all day wondering if I've called yet. So I'll get to it when I do, and when I do, I'll break the news whether or not I've verified whether he's out of jail or not. But that's the reason I stay transparent and show you guys how I find this information so that you can also keep up to date with some of your favorite streamers that you know are in trouble or possibly in custody or in jail without having to always come to me for the news, which I appreciate that you do. Please don't get me wrong, and I'm only addressing a very few of you, all right? But if you are here for the Saint update, which is nothing said about that in the thumbnail, don't worry, I will address one part of that, little short bit of it, at the end of today's broadcast. All right, as most of you saw in that ugly, dirty-looking thumbnail, yeah, see how filters can really make a difference between how people appear in front of the camera and what they really appear like? So if you're still sitting there after reading today's information that I'm going to go over with you, and after looking at his last mugshot, which is, I think, from this morning, and think that this dude is still not using hard drugs and reason why he comes on every day asking for something and then is gone after an hour, you know, just pretty much showing every single fucking behavior and trait that a meth head does, well, I still think you need some help if you don't think he's on it. And come talk to me, and I can even show you more evidence of it if you still don't believe me. But either way, you can make your own decision from the picture and all the information I'm going to be going over with you today, and we'll just go from there. So let me pull up. Let's start off with a few things. We're just going to go straight to the Tulsa Sheriff County's website, which is going to be an inmate search, so I can show you proof that he has been put in custody. For the most part, I think it'll show all the charges that he's now facing, because you got to remember something, just in case you forgot. Skimask was on the run from picking up 2 charges last year of 2 threatening acts of violence, misdemeanor charges that he never showed up to court for. So when he didn't show up to court, they issued out a bench warrant for his arrest, and he had been on the run. Well, in between that time and his arrest, either this morning or late last night, and unbeknownst to me in this channel, this bozo had picked up some new charges. So we're going to go over the new charges that he's picked up, in addition to the 2 charges he had last year picked up and was on the run for. And we're going to find out more or less, or hopefully figure out what went down that got him, I guess, arrested, whether it was, something else he did that, got him arrested, then they ran his info, or did they go after him for the fact that he had probably 2 warrants out for his arrest, okay? But I'm just going to share everything that I have with you guys. That's public information. We'll have a little discussion about it, and then as I get more information, learn more about what's happened, I'll share that with you, okay? I've literally just learned about this incident as of right now, probably just as of maybe an hour or two as of he's gotten arrested. So this is as fresh as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say we don't break that breaking news here on the NJCourts TV news channel. All right, so here we go. I think we've got enough time for the notification to go out. Let's go ahead and just start. We're going to start with the mugshot info or booking info. Then we're going to go into the OSCN.net website, which is pretty much the Oklahoma State Court Network's website, and which we've always referred to when we've gone through this individual's different cases that he's faced while we started coverage on him. And we're going to refer to that, which is going to give us more detail as far as the individual charges he's facing and the new ones he's picked up, and see if he's got a new court date anytime soon or what his bond setting is going to be. Based on what I saw, I don't think he's bondable. He probably has bond amounts, which means he was bondable at some point, but it's mentioning, I'm just going to read what it says, and I'll let you guys make up your decision. At this point, I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'll let you guys decide what you think's happening. But basically, I think most of you is probably going to figure out why he's probably not bondable, okay? I'll just put it this way. You got to be in jail to be bondable, right? So if you've been arrested and you're not in the custody of the jail, where else could you possibly be? I think you'll figure it out. Now, it's not saying that's what happened in this case. I'm just saying it just seems kind of weird. And it's kind of, I guess I said I wasn't going to give my opinion. I guess I lied. I gave you a little smidget of what my opinion was going to be that I'm not going to share. All right. Anyways, let's move forward. Let's start with the booking information. So we'll go to the, there we go. I don't know why it knocked out all my tabs, but whatever. It did it anyway, so no worries. All right, let me share this info with you here. Give me 1 second, make sure it's on the screen. Again, welcome everybody just joining us here on this morning's breaking news edition of the NJCourts TV news station. All right, so share screen. Actually, this makes it a lot easier when you don't have 100 tabs open, so maybe this was nicer. All right, so you guys should be able to see what I'm looking at. Excellent. All right, let's just start. For some reason, they've got like 2 booking, I guess you could call it, accounts or whatever, but I think it's just like a copy of the same one. Actually, I take that back. One shows his mugshot and the other one doesn't. So let's start with the bottom one, which shows his mugshot, and then we'll compare and see if any of the information is different, okay? But it looks like well, let's just start with that. So we got the top and bottom. We're going to start with the bottom info. So we click on that. Takes us to this page here. So you guys should see this. Hey, actually, I'm going to take a pause for the cause. I want to say thank you. We've got a new member, Dots, becoming a new member of the members of the jury. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them gavels if you got them, please. Dot, I need to apologize because I looked for my gavel, and I don't know if you knew, and maybe you were in chat, but if you did and I didn't see you and I didn't recognize it, that's why I didn't know. We had a little party for our 6K party 2 nights ago. Sorry, I spent all day yesterday recovering. It was that type of party. Yeah, we got a little messed up. Anyways, well, Tumbleweed got messed up, not NJCourts. But anywho, if I forgot to say thank you to anybody that night, which I think somebody had paid for a song, even though I don't do like song requests, but I started to play it, and then we got a call from President. If you didn't know, at like 4 a.m., it was an 8.5-hour stream, almost 9-hour stream. At 4 a.m., it started like at 7 my time, Central or Mountain Standard Time. And then we went to like 4 a.m. my time, which is basically like 6 a.m. Eastern time, okay? So basically we went all night and in the early morning, okay? Very early to like kind of, at the time people are waking up to go to work time, okay? It was crazy. Anyways, at about 4 a.m., I want to say, Alex Jones, and President Donald Trump called in to the NJCourts call-in number. And if you don't believe me, the VOD's still up. You can go to like towards the end of the whole VOD. Like I said, it's towards the last hour, a couple of hours. I think even the last hour. I think I was just so blown away, I just had to end the stream after that call. But yeah, basically they both called in and were trying to sell me some type of product called bone broth. So if you're familiar with the bone broth, reach out to me because they still, at some maybe it was just me a little drunk. I still didn't understand what the bone broth was about. But either way, kudos to whoever came in with that call because I think it was the same caller that did the reenactment of both of those voices, and it wasn't they weren't using one of those sound boxes or whatever they call them, soundboards. I can assure you that this was 100% just voice talent, whoever that was, and whoever you were, kudos. But either way, somebody had requested a song, and I think I forgot to start playing. I was in the midst of playing it, and I forgot to, so hopefully at some point of today's stream, at the end, I'll remember to just play that song. That way you can't say I didn't scam you. But forgive me for not finishing to remember to play it that night, because we got interrupted by the call by President Trump and Alex Jones, and then I forgot to play the song. So I didn't forget about you if you're here in chat, which hopefully you are. So I'll have to I'll have to go on my phone and see what the song was again, but hopefully I'll remember and we'll get to playing it at the end. Same thing we'll cover, give you a little coverage of what's going on with Saint. Otherwise, I want to get through this day as quick as I can, because I still feel like holy shit, and I still need probably about a half a day of recovery. So, but I didn't want to break this news, because like I said, I'm here for you, okay? Now, unless I'm like pretty much facing death, maybe I won't be able to break some news, but until then, if there's breaking news, I'll break it for you. But, Dots, either way, where I was going with this, sorry, I'm a little long-winded, I can't find my gavel from this crazy night we had. So I'm going to have to give you a gavel slam, an air slam. So pop, 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 pop. And thank you again for your contribution as becoming a new member of the members of the jury. All right, so maybe that gave you guys time to read through the booking information. But just in case you didn't, let's read this together. So basically, it's showing that he was booked this morning at 5:55 a.m., and that's going to be Central Standard Time. So that's about, I'm 9:13 right now. It's 10:13 in Oklahoma. So, yeah, just call it early morning today. And, well, that was when he was booked. I take that back. It shows he was arrested at 1:55 a.m. So still arrested early morning today, but he was booked in at about 5:55 a.m. his time. All right? Now, here's what he was booked in for. Now, this is going to include the 2 charges he was already on the run for, which, again, were 2 misdemeanor charges of threatening an act of violence, 1 charge for each of his parents. Okay, so he already had he had a bond, and I think he had been arrested that night. Remember, we even had we played the arrest footage. Okay, we even had we got the body cam footage that was shared by the I forgot her name right now, but it was another channel, so I'm not taking any credit for that, but we were able to share that footage, and we did, so it's still available on our channel. But he was arrested that night from that last incident last year, but he was bonded out. Remember, see, you guys did all this. All you little Skimask supposedly friends, you caused all this, all right? So they bonded him out, and he was out, okay? Well, he never showed up to court. So then they issued out the warrant for his arrest. So basically, the bond company got fucked, okay? And I don't even think he could be bonded out right now unless it's going to be a cash bond, because I don't think any bond company is going to want to work with him. But either way, he was on the run from those 2 previous charges of threatening an act of violence. So you'll see those here at the top. So he's already in jail right now for those 2 previous charges or warrant. And then I guess somehow, and I don't think it was today, and this is like I said, sometime between this date of him picking up these acts of violence charges last year and today's arrest, he had picked up some more charges. Now, they may have arrested him and he may have bonded out, which I'm still trying to figure everything out. I don't think he did. I think he did whatever he did, and then, they just never had a chance to arrest him. Maybe he ran. When they called the cops, he ran, Either way, he had picked up some more charges. I'm going to guess it had to do with him probably going back to his parents' house, because he got a violation of a protective order charge added to his 2 previous charges, a malicious injury or destruction to property less than $1,000 charge, in addition to the 2 previous threatening acts of violence charges, and then he also picked up an obstruction of an officer charge. So basically, homeboy picked up 3 new charges from the time he had picked up the last 2 charges, the threatening acts of violence charges, and being arrested today. All right, so now, did he pick up any more new charges from being arrested today? I don't know. Was he arrested by doing something wrong and that's why the cops were called? I don't know. Was he arrested because they served a warrant on him? I don't know. And we'll find out more as this, as I get more information. But we can certainly see that he has been booked in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charges, 2 of them being past charges he was on the run for, and then 3 new charges he had picked up. Now, let's go refer over to that other booking information account they had for him, and let's just read and see if there's anything different from there. Now, if you notice, he does have some bond amounts. It shows $1,500 and $1,500 each for the threatening acts of violence, which were the last 2 charges he had picked up. So basically $3,000 total as of right now. The obstruction of an officer charge has a $500 bond, so that's $3,500. Then he has an aggregate bond. I got to read what aggregate bond means. For the violation of protective order, which I wouldn't even think they let you bond out since you're violating a protective order, but it says aggregate bond and then aggregate bond and $2,500. So basically, let's add $6,000 now total. And then the malicious injury or destruction of property less than $1,000 shows another aggregate bond, and it shows a zero bond amount. So we'll have to, at some point, we'll read what an aggregate bond means. But basically, I would assume if he was going to be bonded out on a cash bond, it would be $6,000 if they were going to bond him out, if he was bondable. Either way, let's jump over that other booking information. Okay, here's where it does change. Let me make sure you guys can see this, okay? This is what's kind of interesting, all right? And this is where I kind of shared my little opinion or gave you my smidget. So you can see now with this one, there's no photo available, okay? There's no mugshot, but we did obviously see he had one. It still has the same booking time, but look it says there's a release date and a release time. So we saw that he was booked in at 2:13 a.m. or he was arrested at 1:55 a.m. That's showing correctly. We saw that he was booked early in the morning, but do you see something here? This one's showing he was booked at 2:13 a.m. The other booking information showed that he was booked in at like 5-something a.m. Then it's showing he was released at 2:34 a.m. So here's what's kind of different down here as well. If you notice, he's got the same charges he's pending, but next to the bond amount, instead of it saying, what did it say? Well, I don't think it said anything under disposition. We'll have to go back. But now under disposition, it says medical refusal, medical refusal, medical refusal, medical refusal, medical refusal. So that's what I'm saying is, let's go back to the other one really quick. What did it say for the disposition? Did it even have disposition? Yeah, see, under the disposition, it shows nothing. Then when we go to the other booking information, it shows under the disposition, medical refusal, medical refusal, medical refusal, medical refusal, medical refusal. It almost looks like he was arrested, booked, released, maybe to the hospital. Again, this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is how it happened. And then he was then released out of the hospital and booked back in jail. I don't know. Or maybe he was booked in, released to another, I don't know. But either way, it's not that he's been released. Okay, obviously, we know he hasn't been released to the public, okay? He's obviously still in custody. Otherwise, this information wouldn't be available once you've been released. And also, they've got another list that you can check that shows who they've released for the day, okay? So, he's obviously still in custody. I'm just trying to figure out how the, events of this morning went, down. And honestly, I don't really care. I'm just trying to get you guys the correct information. But at this point, since we're all just learning about this together, you guys can draw your own opinion. And then hopefully I can start getting all this put together and come up with a more, conclusive, way of saying what happened. But until I do, it won't be until I have, stuff that I can show you, basically, which is going to be an incident report. That would be the next thing I would have to request through a FOIA request, would be an incident report so we can find out exactly what went down this morning, and exactly did he released to the hospital or not? Was the hospital even involved at this point? I don't know. I'm not saying it was, but it just does mention medical refusal, which kind of seems like it would be, but who knows? And it does seem like he was booked, released, then booked back into jail. But, do I seem like I'm kind of talking like I know what I'm talking about? Oh, and anyways, I'm going to check back with you guys really quick in chat, but I want to say thank you so much, Cat Crazy, with gifting 5 new memberships of the jury. Thank you so much, Cat Crazy, for gifting those 5 new memberships of the jury, and welcome to our 5 new members of the jury. Cat Crazy, again, I need to apologize for not having my gavel with me. I did look. It's probably somewhere behind me. Usually, when we have those crazy nights, the gavel ends up behind the couch or somewhere behind me, so I'll look there better. But for right now, I'm going to have to give you a air gavel slam, so thank you so much. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them gavels if you got them, and for all those new jury members, you have now access to all the cool emojis you see all the jury members spamming. So here you go. Gavel slam coming. Pop, 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 pop. Bam. Thank you so much, Cat Crazy. All right, and welcome to all the 5 new members. So that's pretty much as the extent goes with the booking information. All right. Now let's go to the oscn.net court website, and let's refer to the court info that's now out for the new case and then the previous. I mean, we don't need to really go back to the previous case unless we have to, but there is there's new case info for this new charges he picked up, apparently. That's why I'm guessing he didn't pick them up today when they arrested him. These were already charges he had picked up sometime. And I think maybe one of his stories where he said he ran was maybe possibly true. Now, did they have helicopters and bloodhounds chasing him? Fuck no. I just have a feeling he probably broke into his parents' house, right? Got something, broke out. Parents called the police. Maybe the parents weren't there. Maybe they were there. Maybe let's just say his parents were there. I would assume his parents were probably there, right? So he breaks into the house. Parents call the cops. Probably by the time the cops come, he's running. Maybe the cops saw him when he's running, and he was, able to run and get away. But, was he fighting cops and breaking away from handcuffs and jumping out of third floor hospital rooms? No, okay. But to some extent, maybe homeboy did run from the cops, which it does appear. Because, like I said, it looks like, based on the case information we're going to read, he had picked up these charges way before his arrest today. All right. Hold on. I just got a message. Danielle Chance wants to tell her story about ski. All right. We can definitely do that. Let me just share the court news information really quick. And then if Danielle wants to come up on a panel, I'll share the panel, or excuse me, the whatever it is, the panel link. And we'll have Danielle click the link. And then, Danielle, I do just need to verify you by face in the back room. And then if you want to come up, you can certainly, take your, put it on black screen mode. But unless I see somebody just physically, I won't bring them up. That's just kind of my rule. When it comes to the live panels, I won't bring them up on stage just because I need to know who they are before I do. And then, like I said, once you come up on stage, if you want to stay anonymous, you certainly can. All right. But either way, let's just finish up my really quick court coverage here, and then we'll go see if Danielle wants to come up. And then if we have time or feel like it, I might share the information on Saint. It's just because I had the tab up and now it's gone, so I'd have to technically go in, log in, and all that. So we'll see. And I'm not lying. I'm kind of starting to. I was feeling better this morning, but I'm starting to kind of. I think I need a little bit more water in me. All right. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me just take a second to breathe really quick. All right. This boy's getting old, bro. I didn't even put down that much alcohol, and I still fucking felt like death. All right. At Cat Crazy, I was a friend. It was 3 years ago, and I was just being kind of Skimask, giving him a ride, and he took advantage of my kindness, then got a bit obsessive. Okay. Interesting. That's funny, because Danielle, unfortunately, there's a lot of individuals that seem to share the same story as you do that have reached out to me before and have reached out to our chat too. So that's sad to see. All right, so let's go to the, okay, that felt better. See, I just need to breathe sometimes. I think that's what it is. It's just not I'm feeling bad. I need to breathe. Okay, let's go. All right, oscn.net website next. All right, let me just bring up the case info and then I'll share it with you. All right, let me start sharing now. Let me show you how ridiculous it's gotten with David, okay? So when you do a case, and this is just in the state of Oklahoma, mind you, okay? When you do a case search, remember, for some of you new folks that aren't aware, David, a.k.a. Skimask Andy, still has open warrants in the state of Nevada, open warrants in the state of New Jersey, and supposedly an open warrant in the state of California. So mind you, this is just his criminal history record since he was 18 and up from the state of Oklahoma, okay? Not his birth state, but where he spent most of his youth and time now as an adult, okay? So let me just make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. Excellent. So I'm going to scroll. There's 2 pages now. It used to be just 1 page when you looked up Homeboy. Now he's got so many charges they had to open up a second page, okay? And that's even allowing the maximum amount of search results per page, all right? Before people say, it's probably because you have it on the small. No, I have it on max, okay? So anyways, let me just show you before I get to the second page. So you scroll all the way up when you do his look. So there's Tulsa County he got in trouble with, where he's mainly been living out of. Then he had picked up charges out of Wagner County, which we've gone over. We're not going to go there today. But anyways, when you go to Tulsa, when you get to the bottom, because it's still not reached his newest charges, it says, showing the maximum of 20 records. More results may be available. Well, let's click and see. Well, holy shit, sure there are. Well, and that's not that added this. It's now added the extra results, okay? So this is the total amount of charges just in Tulsa now he has. Between felony, misdemeanor, and protective orders, okay? And his parents aren't the only ones that have gotten protective orders filed against him. I'm just going to say that. Most of you know who is, but it's neither here nor there. But anyways, We knew about the most recent charge, which was, I guess it's already been July of last year, is when, more or less, when he got arrested for the threatening acts of violence towards his parents and when they got the protective order filed. Okay, that was about July of last year. This year, he picked up in February 12th, it appears. Now, again, this is when they charged him, filed the charges. Once we click on the case info, it'll tell us the date he was, basically when the incident happened. So it's not, doesn't mean that whatever he did was in February. It just means that's when they filed the charges. But basically, he's picked up two new cases. One they filed February 12th of this year. The other one they filed February 14th of this year, just 2 days after the first one, okay? So let's start on the one that's filed February 12th. We'll just go in order of date, all right? So that one's CM 2025-521. When we come down here, it shows a count of obstructing an officer, and that's showing from a date of offense of November 5th of 2024. So again, keep that in mind. They filed the charges this month, but they're saying his date of offense was from November 5th of last year. So I'd have to go back in my VODs and see if we talked about David November-ish of last year. But I'm trying to remember what this guy talked about, because he's told so many stories. You know, which crack shack was he at around that time? I mean, almost seemed, I think he had already left the first crack shack, the one where he got really beat up at. I think at this time he was staying at this, the Beverly Hillbillies mansion. You know what I mean? I don't know. But either way, like I said, and I'm going to make stuff up. I'm just going to read what I have, and, you know, you guys can make up your own opinion. But as the facts in the incident report comes in, then we can start finding out more. Obviously, we're going to find out what he did if we get the incident report from this, you know, case, all right? But either way, he has one case that has to do with one charge of obstructing an officer, which is a date of offense of 11/5 of 2024. And it looks like on February 12th, warrant of arrest issued. It seems like they issued out a warrant for his arrest. So it seems like let's go to the other case. But I have a feeling this guy did stuff last year, and for whatever reason, they issued out warrants as soon as they filed the cases to, February 12th, issued out the warrant on the 12th, and then he got arrested 2 days later. So that tells me they probably knew where this asshole was at. That, or like I said, he ended up doing something that the cops got called on, and he ended up getting arrested, which I think if he did that, we would have seen new charges pending from the charges he's facing now. Because now we can cross off the obstruction of officer charge as for something that happened previously, okay? Not something he picked up from today. Let's go to the other case. So this is going to be the one that was filed February 14th. Again, doesn't mean the incident happened on February 14th. That's just when it was filed. I have a feeling this is going to be from an incident from last year. Let's see. So these charges on this case is the violation of protective order and the malicious injury or destruction of property less than 1,000. And it says the date of offense was January 16th of this year. So we can verify that the charge that was filed on February 12th, the one that's saying it was from November of last year, that had to be a separate charge. That was an obstructing officer charge. And then January of this year, I think, because he violated the protective order, which means he had to go in the vicinity of his parents, which means they're always at home. I have a feeling he broke into the house, and that's where he picked up the violating a protective order and the malicious injury or destruction of property. Now let's go down to the case notes. And sure enough, warrant of arrest issued February 14th, 2025. So I have a feeling this is what happened. Homeboy picked up, from when we knew, when we started coverage again on him back in July, was when he had, that whole incident where he had brought the dog and the night he got arrested. That's where he got charged with the threatening acts of violence. 2 charges of threatening acts of violence. Then his parents went and got a protective over, I think, the next day from him, okay? Then he went on the run, okay? Then it looks like what we said in November of last year, he picked up the obstruction of an officer charge. And then in January of this year, he picked up the violating of a protective order charge and the malicious injury or destruction of property less than 1,000 charge. And then it looks like they issued out a warrant on February the 12th. And in 2 days, they either found him, knew where he was, or he did something where the cops were called, which I don't think that's the case because I think he would have picked up more charges. Because now, obviously, we can see all the charges that he's being booked into have all been previous charges. I didn't see any new charges that he would have picked up today. So I have a feeling they knew where he was. They issued out the warrant, and they went and picked him up 2 days later from the day they issued out the warrant. Or they didn't know where he was, but it just took them 2 days to find him after they issued out the warrant, okay? Now, another thing I want to share before we go to the live panel. This was kind of interesting. I received an anonymous email the other day that brought to my attention that David, a.k.a. Skimask, had posted a very, very, very weird looking, and it disturbed a lot of people, okay? It was a live stream title. It was, one of those, you can schedule a thumbnail or live stream, so it says, notification, and you can set it on or off, and it tells you what time the stream's going to come on. Well, that supposedly must have been his last live stream he was going to do, and then I guess he got in trouble or arrested because he hasn't had a chance to take it down. It's very disturbing, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly what the thumbnail looks like. Let me share that with you. But it is kind of weird that I did get that email early this morning, and then all of a sudden I find out he's arrested. Now, I'm not saying it has anything to do with the picture or anything, but I guess apparently a few days prior to him posting this new thumbnail with the disturbing picture, in his live stream, you could hear in the background a young girl, a minor basically, and chat had even brought it up. His own chat had even said, hey, is that a minor we're hearing? What's going on with that young child? And people were disturbed for the fact that they don't think that guy should be anywhere around children the way he acts, okay, and the things he's threatened and said. So I don't know, again, if today him being arrested had anything to do with that, and I'm not saying it does, but it is just kind of disturbing and weird that, that happened, then all of a sudden he puts his thumbnail, and then all of a sudden he's arrested. But again, it could be completely something different. May not even be anything he's gotten in trouble for. But either way, it disturbed a lot of people. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to share that thumbnail with you. It's still up. You can go to, he's got 2 channels, Psychic and then his regular main channel. I forgot which one it's on. We'll find out here in a second, but it's still up. Obviously, he hasn't had a chance because he's in jail to take it down. I'm sure he would have already taken it down by now. But let me share that with you. Give me 1 second. Oops, I might have to. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. Let me just open up that email again. Give me just 1 second. I'm just going to share. Oops. I'm just going to go to his page because it's up still. Here it is. I'm going to share this tab. So there you go. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. So currently right now it's on his main channel. If you go to his main channel, he's got waiting. It was supposed to go on yesterday at 9:10 a.m. I quit streaming. I've been live 9 times since Friday, 4 days ago, and I haven't earned $1 with the thumbs down. Typical Skimask Andy title. And then he's got this weird picture. I don't know if that's even of a minor or not. But, somebody had just mentioned that it was a very disturbing picture. And, and a few days ago, he had done a live stream where he's riding around with somebody that had some minors in the car. So, again, I don't know if that has any ties to anything, but I did want to just share that with everybody because I thought it was just something, it's interesting and it's still up, okay? Again, does this have anything to do why he was arrested today? I don't know. Obviously, the charges he's facing don't seem to have anything to do with this. But, again, they issued out a warrant 2 days ago, and then he was arrested today. But did just want to share this with you because it was brought up by not just one, a few other people that had anonymously emailed me and some other ways of reaching out to me, which is not anonymous. It's just you can reach out to me email or through Instagram. But, again, I will always keep people anonymous. But there you go. So let me set up a panel really quick, and let's get our guest on. Danielle supposedly wants to come up and share some information. And then if we got some time and I'm still feeling well, we'll get to the I'll share that bit of new case information having to do with the Saint case. And if I don't get to it, I'll do another case update on it, okay? I'd rather just do a whole separate case update on Saint, but since I've had a few people reach out and I got time, I'll get to it. Let me just take a little drink and a few more sips of some air. All right. For those of you in chat going, why does he feel like that? Oh, is he all drugged up? Oh, he's all on meth now? No, I had a wild night, drank some tequila and some fucking I'll tell you what, it's just double IPA, but they call it the fuel starter or whatever the fuck that was. That shit literally tasted good, but man, it made me feel the next day like I did drink 2 cans of fucking gasoline or some shit. So yes, your homeboy is still, even though this has been 2 days now, yeah, I'm still feeling it. I think it was more the fact that we did an 9-hour stream, which, although I spread my drinking around the whole 9 hours, which is still embarrassing. It's not like I slammed all those in an hour, and that's why I feel like shit the next day. No, I did it like, the responsible way. I just still at the age where you feel like shit even drinking the responsible way. Or I'm just not meant to drink anymore. Some people just aren't. So if that's the case, I don't think we're going to have a drinking stream anymore. So I'm sorry for those that enjoy it, but I certainly don't. They're not the next day. Now, the night of, I do. But the next day and the day after, I certainly do not. Holy shit. Yes, Danielle, I'm going to share that right now. And again, I'm just going to let Danielle come up. So, and actually, you know what? I want to just, because there's 246 people, let me just think this through. So why don't you email me, and then I will email you back the link. I'm not going to just share it publicly here, because since I don't know who you are, anybody can just quickly do your avatar and say they're Danielle. So if you do want to come up, and I'll wait, I'll give, actually, while we're doing this, while you're emailing me, and if you can't, then that's just it. I'm sorry. Maybe next time you can reach out to me, share your story either through Instagram or email, and I'll try to share it for you. But I'm just going to make that my rule. If you do want to come up today, reach out to me on email, and I'll share you the link back. That just kind of puts a few little screens in between, and then I'll share it with you directly, and then you can come up on that. In the meantime, I am going to... Let me just bring up the information on what's his face really quick, and then that's it. I'm just going to read it, and I'm not even going to bring an opinion up. You guys can draw your own opinion since there's just a few people that were wondering what was going on. Basically, people want to know if they think he's in jail or not, okay? I said, I don't know. I said, it. Good way to just judge it is by just his narcissism. Do you think if the guy was out, he would be this quiet? Maybe. But how many times has he been in jail and learned his lesson and still been out on bond and not been quiet, So... maybe this time he learned, but I have a feeling most likely maybe means he is in jail still. Now, there is a note that I'm going to read and show you that shows that probably his lawyer had requested a motion to pretty much request a hearing to take a relook at his bond hearing or bonding information. But that was a motion requested. Doesn't mean that the motion's been granted. And even then, that was just for them to set a hearing to reconsider whether they'll lower his bond or let him to be bond. I think right now he's not bondable. Maybe he's out, but at some point he was not bondable. Remember, when I called and verified he was in jail, he was not bondable at that time. So I have a feeling this request was I think it was done on the 20th, was a motion to request a hearing where the judge would decide to make him bondable or not, okay? I don't think they've had that hearing yet. So I would assume that since they haven't had the hearing, they haven't allowed him to be bondable, okay? And until then, he won't be. Or he may not ever be until he's got, goes through the process, which his next hearing that we went over was scheduled for, I think, March 20-something, okay? And we'll find out here in a second. So I'm just going to read the notes, and you can draw your own conclusion. Then the next time I do a coverage on him, I'll get more into it and give you my own opinion. But basically, it's hard to tell, based on the notes I'm reading, I think he's still in jail. I don't know what caused people to think he got out, and nobody was able to answer me that still, okay? But obviously, I do see a few more notes, which are the ones I'm going to read since the last time we shared his coverage. Okay, and I think I got an email, so let me just check. I don't want to... Give me 1 second. Nope, I did it. Not yet. Okay. I'll even have my email up and ready so I know. And if one of the mods wants to throw that out there, if you have it, and just throw it out once. If it's her, Danielle knows she'll grab it. She doesn't need to see it twice or 3 times. If it's already been put out, it's out. So I'll wait for that email, and once I get it from you, I'll email you the link, and then you can come up. All right. So let's go to Saints info here. I'm just going to go to the case that's got the most recent note. Remember, he's got 3 cases open, okay? He's still facing the case where he's got 4. So without getting too confusing, remember, now he's facing a total of like 9 charges, okay? He's facing like 4 or 5 charges from the first time we started his coverage, from his arrest, I think it was 2 days before Christmas of last year. And then he picked up some new charges, which I'm still waiting for my incident report to come back. I'm still waiting to see if they're going to release it or not to find out what happened that he picked up these 4 new charges, okay? So remember, from the first incident, they had to push him to the most, now I guess from district court to superior court because he faced, I think, one felony from that case. From these new 4 charges he picked up, I think we said it was, let's see, like around February of this year or something. We don't know how he picked it up. We said it probably looks more like he went and got into altercation with the neighbor because he thinks they're the ones that called the cops on him from the first altercation, maybe got in an altercation with them because remember he came on that night and he looked beat up. But then apparently a warrant was issued. He didn't get arrested the night that he came live. A warrant was issued and then he got arrested, okay? And we saw that. It went down on his live stream. I shared that with you, okay? So don't forget, he's got a separate other case where he's facing a felony and I think 4 other misdemeanors and has now gone to superior court. Or circuit court. I keep calling it superior. Sorry. It went from district to circuit court because of the felony. Now he picked up 4 more charges, which included another felony. So he's now facing 9 charges total. I may be wrong, but it's either 8 or 9 with 2 felonies. I know that's for sure. And then the rest are the misdemeanors. Okay. So I'm just going to go to the case that's got the newest notes because he's got 3 cases open. The one that's got the latest and newest notes is the one that I'm going to share with you. Okay. And I believe that's the one from here. No, it's the one on the 14th. Let's see. Let me just go down really quick. It'll just take me a second to find it. Yeah, here it is. So right here, let me share this with you guys. Let me see what you guys can see. Okay, nothing. Hold on. Let me share the screen. This is the new note that says, so on the 18th, it said bail to remain the same. Okay, now let me just start here. Basically, he's had court on the 18th, which was his bond review, and he's got a next hearing set for March 18th. Now, that's on the newest charges, okay? On the previous charges, the ones from last year, he has another separate court date as well. I think that was like, I think it's March or February 27th, coming up soon. But for the new charges he picked up, basically, he had his bond hearing, which was the 18th, and they said no bond. He couldn't be bonded out at that time. I verified a few days later by calling, and he was still in jail. And then they set a new hearing for him, basically his preliminary hearing for March 18th. So basically, assuming he had a no bond, he was going to have to stay in jail until the 18th of next month until he saw the judge again. And doesn't mean they were going to let him out, just means he got a chance to talk to the judge again. But at some point, it does look like a motion on the 20th, February 20th, if you see, I'm going to highlight it down here, a motion/request for a second bail review was submitted. Again, it's a request. The judge has to approve or deny the request. Then on the 20th, there's a proposed order and decree, and there's no more information. Today's the 25th. So I have a feeling, again, based on the notes, that he's still in custody on a no-hold bond with the possibility of maybe getting if the request gets approved, another second bail review between this next hearing date that was set for March 18th. It may or may not happen, but either way, he is set for his next hearing on March 18th having to do with the new charges. Now, let's go back to the previous charges, and I'll get you that court date. So that's the ones that are now in Washington County Circuit Court. They moved from Washington County District Court to Washington County Circuit Court. They handle more of the serious style of felonies. So when we go to his open case there, he's not as bad as Skimask, but definitely he's got a lot of open and closed cases. So it's starting to stack up when you look up his record in Maryland. His next hearing is going to be on the 27th of this month. And then they've got a jury hearing on calendar for May 1st of this year. Oh, hold on. It says canceled. So it looks like they canceled his 27th hearing. And they've got now his jury hearing starting on the 1st. So he might have, I don't know if that had to do for the fact that he was in jail or he picked up the other charges. But either way, looks like they just went to a jury trial. So I guess he's going to plead not guilty and go all the way on that because they have it set for a jury trial May 1st. And again, to remind you, that's for the charges of assault in the first degree in a felony, assault in the second degree misdemeanor, reckless endangerment in the misdemeanor, and a 4th charge of resisting interfering with arrest in a misdemeanor. So that from the incident that happened before Christmas, he picked up 4 charges. 1 felony, 3 misdemeanors. It was the other one that he picked up I think it was 5 total. Let me just verify that because I hate to be wrong. So let me just open up the case here. It's almost getting so confusing with all these new charges. All these people are picking up between him and Skimask. All right, so yeah, so he picked up, let's see, it looks like he's got almost 2 separate cases. Like on one of them, it shows where he got, let's see, 4 charges, and then on one case, he got a separate charge. So that's why I totaled 5, but it's like one case is 4, and then the other one, another one separately makes 5, but it does look like they may have been separate instances, but let's just double check. Let me go to the one from let's see. Which could be he picked up maybe a new charge when they went to arrest him on that warrant, which I could see that, But basically, the new charges he had picked up from those previous ones I just read to you, the ones that he had picked up before Christmas, these ones he picked up on February 3rd. That's the offense date. He's got burglary in the 3rd degree, which is a felony, assault in the 2nd degree, a misdemeanor, malicious destruction of property valued under $1,000, another misdemeanor, disorderly conduct, another misdemeanor, and a 5th charge of disturbing the peace disorderly, another misdemeanor. So I take that back. He did pick up 5 charges from the incident on the 3rd, and then for some reason, let me go to that other incident where it's just the 1 charge. Let me just see if it should have another date than the 3rd. Let's just check. I have a feeling, like I said, he picked this up the day they arrested him. Let's just double check. So then he got another malicious, destructive, a property, a value under $1,000. And yeah, it's saying the offense date is from the 14th, February 14th. So it's not from the 3rd. So it is from the date that he was arrested on. So I think I'm probably right to say that he picked up that 6th charge, that extra charge, the day that so no, basically he doesn't have 9 total. He has 10. 10 total charges now he's facing, 2 misdemeanors and 2 felonies and 8 misdemeanors. I forgot to include this new charge that he picked up the day he was arrested, which was a malicious destruction of property valued under $1,000. So that's everything I have to share with you regarding Saint. Now, if you've been talking about it in chat, I apologize. I hadn't had chat up when I was going over this. Now I'm here in front of chat. Shut up. If let me just put it this way. Who was the one saying confusing everyone? If you can't figure that out, you may want to find somebody that can speak in 3rd grade language, okay? I think I'm dumb enough to dumb everything down that I speak on when it has to do with court case. That's why we get 250 people in right now listening to all this. But as long as your comment doesn't break TOS, it's always welcome here on the NJCourts TV channel, and that's why you can have it. So I didn't get an email back, so I guess Danielle didn't want to come up. I'm not saying that wasn't your intention, but either way, I'm just going to continue to move on then. But again, if you want to reach out to me through email, DMs, whatever, we can set this up for another time because obviously we're going to have to, there's going to be more court coverage to go with Skimask Andy, okay? It's not going to be the end of it. Okay, but really quick, I want to say shout out I want to shout out the donations and shout outs I have now. And also, before I forget, I want to go back and replay that song request that individual had so I don't feel like I scammed him. And then before I forget. So, starting from our next donation, we've got Simply Tony with a $5 Cash App that reads, Danger Ranger is a bish, Vegan Patriot is a whore. Shout out to Simply Tony for the $5 Cash App, or excuse me, not Cash App. What are these? The YouTube. Jesus, yeah. I think my brain's starting to get a little hazy now. Whatever, super chats, thank you. Shout out to Simply Tony for that $5 super chat. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them gabbles if you got them. Simply Tony, this air gabble slam goes out to you. Pop, 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 boom. Then we have Jade following in, member for 2 months. Jade celebrating a 2-month anniversary. Jade, thank you so much for being a member of the jury, and welcome. And thank you for celebrating a 2-month anniversary. I appreciate your continued support. Jade saying yay. You guys know what to do in chat. Spam them gabbles for Jade. Pop, 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 bam! Gabble slam goes out to Jade. And we got Simply Tony again with a $10 super chat that reads, one more time for the ones in the back. Danger is a fat bish and vegan is a fat whore. You're very sneaky how you got the words there. So I still managed to read them, and I think I knew what you were trying to do without trying to read them. So good job, Simply Tony. Shout out to Simply Tony for that $10 super chat. You guys know what to do in the chat. Keep spamming them gabbles if you got them. This gavel slam goes out to you. And again, I apologize for the air gavel slams today, guys. Pop, 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 bam! And then we've got, okay, I think that was it. All right, cool. Oh, I almost forgot. Hold on. Let me go back and see what, actually, I think it would be on my history, my YouTube history, because I did start playing it, and then we got the call from President Trump, and it got interrupted. So, I mean, come on, it was a call from President Trump. I was going to interrupt anything, even if my own mom was talking to me. All right, so let me go to it's probably going to be in my history, because I did watch a lot of YouTube since then, because I was laying in fucking bed all day yesterday. But let's see if I can go to the Sunday's night and see. Or actually, I think it would have been Monday morning. So hold on. I might still have this on my history. Let me go to my... Oh, what am I playing here? That's not it. Hold on. Let me go to my... Let me see what you guys are looking at. Okay, cool. Let me stop sharing that. Let me get that out of the way. Oops. Okay, cool. Get all those out of the way. Go back to your comments. All right, so, and again, I'm just reading out the comments. Doesn't mean that's the opinion of the channel, okay, or myself. Let's see here. I'm just going. I think most of you know what my opinions are, people, so it doesn't mean that I don't agree or disagree with Simply Tony. Just saying any comments I read are not the direct opinions or comments from the channel, simply reading what you, the audience, have donated. Which is the case for most of these shows that do the super chats and things like that and read out comments from their chatters. All right. So, yeah, okay, I was going to go to my history really quick. See, I'm just about to forget, dude. I got like one more minute or I'm going to lose this attention span for what I was doing. Okay, so I'm going to my history. They make this so hard. I wish they just had a fucking history tab, which they used to, but they call it the, U tab now. There it is, history. View all. Okay. So this should be easy to find because I should be able to see the title. Yesterday. Okay. Did you guys see that Jose Sanders is now, I guess, shacked up with Brandon Q up in Albuquerque now? Holy shit. I guess Brandon didn't learn his lesson. And for those of you remember, we did a little coverage on old Jose. I mean, he did end up getting not in trouble at the end of the day. I think they had ended up dismissing his case at the end of the day, but you guys remember that coverage? I'm not going to go back to it, but just in case. Okay, official clutch. I think that was it. Yeah, here it is. It's called Official Clutch Cyborg Bet. So I'm going to share a little bit. I'm not going to share the whole song because I don't want to get copyright struck, but shout out to that donator that had donated this song, and I apologize that I kind of started and then forgot. But I dig it. Never heard of them till now, so I guess they must be, let's see, go to that website. 270K subs, they must be a pretty known band. I'm gonna sing over this a little bit, so it hopefully doesn't copyright me a bit. I definitely like this jam, and I can go with it. And I started singing it. Clear, I just did a same update. You just missed it, so you might just wanna go back 10 minutes. All right, we're gonna end it there. Shout out to that donator, Cyborg Bills by the Official Clutch Band. All right, here we go. So hopefully that donator's here. And if you're not, I hope you believe in me and know I didn't scam you because I remembered you even 2 days after, and even though I went through holy hell of being sick and hungover. So shout out to that donator again. I appreciate your patience with me playing your song 2 days later. Put on some Slayer, then I'll jump from if you ever win. Some Slayer! Sorry, I didn't give you guys your bud warnings. But hopefully I woke some of you motherfuckers up. It's already 9:55 a.m. my time, so wake up. Wake up, little Susie. For my old timers, wake up, little Susie. Wake up. For my age 60 and overs. Just kidding. Hey, I'm getting 42, all right? And I already paid for it 2 days ago, so. All right, that's all I have. I'm glad I was able to make it through, and I hit everything that I wanted to. We did the Skimask Andy coverage. I was able to knock out the update on Saint that everybody had been asking about. Still, you guys can always call the jail, but when I get to it, which will probably be today, I would have done it yesterday, but again, I was not feeling well, and I was not going to do it and then go and break and come live. So today, when I get to it, I'll call down and I'll see if he's still there or not. But if you guys want to, remember, any member of the public can certainly call and see if he's still there or not, okay? Certainly if it's bugging you too, all day long if you want to know. But I was able to go over some of the new notes that we had in from the last coverage on Saint. So hopefully I answered some questions for you or allowed you guys to make up your own mind whether you think Saint's out or not. But either way, we got to knock that out. We gave every chance for Danielle to come up and speak. Not saying that she didn't want to, but hold on. I just got the email, Danielle, right at the last minute. God damn. You're definitely one of those last minute. I'm the same way. So let's see. Hold on. Let me send it to you, Danielle. Give me 1 second. All right. How do I do this? Oh, yeah. I have to do it. Oh, I'm sure there's a faster way. Just please bear with me. But don't go just yet. We are going to have Danielle coming up on panel to give us a story or about her experience, which doesn't seem like it was a positive or great one, with Skimask Andy, a.k.a. David DeCoe. So hang on tight. We're going to get that link out to Danielle, and we'll bring her up on panel. I wish I had some music to play in the background for this. Would be the perfect time right now. Actually, that span we were just playing would be perfect to play right now. I think that would be a great segue. And then pop, Danielle comes up. All right. Anyways, but I don't want to get struck. So, but maybe for the next show, I'll think about that. All right. So let me send this link out to Danielle. Let me shut up. And okay. So I'm gonna. Oh, I can just email it. Hell yeah. Okay, I can just do this. Copy. Oh, I forgot I have my email right here, so I can just directly respond to you. Yes. All right. This is kind of working out. There's Danielle. All right, Danielle, I'm going to reply to you right now with the link. And I still need to see you in... Oops, that might not be it. Hold on. I still need to see you. The rules didn't change. I still need to see you in the back room to verify who you are. Make sure you're a real person. And then once I do, you can go black screen mode if you want to when you come up on the screen. All right? So I just sent you the link. I'll wait for you in the back room. And then, like I said, I just need to see you physically in the back room. And then once I do, I'll bring you up on screen. Welcome to all the new viewers coming in. Welcome to all the members of the jury. Thank you for my mods for being here this morning. I want to say a big thank you while we have some time to kill for all the mods that were here for the 6K celebration party. I know that was a lot to ask of you because it was an all-day event. You know, I had a little IRL field trip to the Gem and Rock Mineral Show, which was fun. Thank you for all of you that joined me there. And that's when the new character of Tumbleweed, and then we also introduced Tumbleweed's older brother, Snakebot, came out. And then Tumbleweed and me, NJCourts, and the rest of y'all joined us for the 6K party later that night where Tumbleweed and NJCourts got fucked up. And we had a great time. We had a call-in show. Okay, thank you, Danielle. Danielle, if you want to go to black screen mode, you're more than welcome because here in about 2 seconds, I'm going to bring you up, okay? All right, here's Danielle, ladies and gentlemen. Danielle, welcome. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You come in just fine. So I'm going to give you the mic. I don't know much about you. I was trying to read and chat a little bit about, but I'm as you may know already, because I'm putting out news, it's hard for me to read chat. So I'm just going to give you the mic. It sounded like you wanted to share some information or experience between you and Ski, and have at it. Here you go.
Yeah, so I was a viewer of Ski. This was like 4 years ago. And he had hit me up, and I lived like only a mile and a half away from him at that time.
Can I stop you really quick? So 4 years, because I just want to get the timeline down. That was way before he kind of got into the whole Michelle and drama community then, obviously, right?
Well, no.
Or is that about the time? Has it been that long?
Yeah, then? It was like 3 years.
Okay,
so 3 years probably. Okay. 3.
So you're saying that was the community that you had kind of followed in Ski then from, is why I'm guessing the 4 year range?
Yeah, I found him actually through you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Never mind. I take that back.
And so, he had asked me, he said, since you live close, if I give you a little bit of money to take me to the casino, would you do that? And, I'm a kind person, so I was like, no big deal. And I didn't know who he was at the time, you know what I mean? So I did that.
And when you say you didn't know who he was, you just knew him as Skimask, just the internet personality, but didn't know much about his criminal record or obviously where he's at this point in life. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. And he was okay at first, and then he asked a few more times, can I get, for a couple more rides.
So
And
how go back to that first ride? He asked you for a ride, you went and got him, and you went. He dropped him off at the casino. Is that basically it? Just a pick up and drop off, or did you hang out with them?
Well, we did hang out the first time. Yeah, we hung out. We back then, I don't now, but back then, I did smoke with him, and it was fine that time. And everything was fine. And then I went, and like I said, it was just basically talking to him that first time, and then I went and dropped him off at the casino, and that was that. And then, like, by the third time, I took him somewhere. We went to my home, and it makes me just,
Yeah, take your time, man. I appreciate you coming up. I know. Trust me. I've speaking to a lot of people that he's hurt and done a lot of stuff to, and it sucks. It's not easy to talk about.
It hasn't been a good feeling. I'll say that much.
I'm sorry.
So basically, like, after that, I had this bad feeling when I picked him up, like on the fourth. It was like the fourth time or something, because he had like gotten an attitude, like, saying I wasn't gonna pick him up at all, but I felt like something, I don't know why I did. I went, it was against my better judgment. Let me just say that,
Sure.
And cause he had yelled at me. He was like, if you don't fucking pick me up from the fucking casino, I'll fucking do this and I'll do that, basically that kind of shit. And I was like, okay, I probably shouldn't go. Which back then I was a people pleaser, okay, and I've changed since then.
I'm sure that's probably been a reason why. So
yeah, exactly. And so I did it anyways, and I picked him up, and it was like he was just on one. I mean, cussing me out. You don't fucking talk to me. You don't do shit like that, and blah blah blah. And I was like, man, fuck you. You're not gonna talk to me like that. Period at all.
Good for
and
you.
I mean, I'm just upfront. I'm blunt, and I don't care if you like me or not. I'm doing this to be kind to you,
Sure,
and you're
fine.
talking to me like shit. No, fuck you. And then, anyway, so after about a couple of fuck you and don't ever call me, don't ever talk to me again. After that, he was like, well, do you want to smoke a blunt? And I was like, well, my nerves are high, so okay, I will. So we went to my house. I smoked a blunt, and this time, I know the blunt was laced with something. I don't know what. I have no idea. But the blunt was laced with something, because this time I couldn't stand. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't even talk hardly. I told he was trying to kiss on me, and I told him no several times. Several times. And I said, stop, and he continued after that, even after the fact. And then he would, after that, he had left somehow. I don't even know how he left, because I literally had I was like passed out. I had no clue what happened after that, literally.
Now, and you say you're a seasoned smoker, so you've smoked quite a bit to know the difference, or
I mean, I've smoked,
like this, you smoke dispensary type of weed, like the good grade weed. Okay,
right,
gotcha.
yes.
And that's never happened to you before, you're saying?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
This was
And that's why I asked. So
Yeah.
just trying to get a little bit of background information from
Yeah.
your history with smoking and all that. So
Right. And that's why I knew something was up. Something was weird. And so, and I even confronted, okay, so after he had left somehow, and I had just fallen asleep, even when I woke up, I had a migraine. I felt sick to my stomach, So it was like something
Sure.
was in it, you know, I could tell. It wasn't like the normal weed.
Yeah,
you
you
know
don't
what I
feel
mean?
like that after weed. I can tell you that. I've been
Exactly.
smoking long enough. I feel great after I can be hungover. Weed is probably what got me through to not feeling like total death from calling the fucking EMT last 2 days. Okay, so yes, it does quite the opposite. They make you feel like
Right.
shit.
Exactly. And so I called him and I messaged him first and I said, "Hey, we need to talk, you know." And he was like, "About what?" And I was like, "I think we need to call, you know, I need to call you on the phone about this." And he was like, "Okay, give me a minute." And so I called him and I said, "What was in that weed?" And he was like, what? He started stuttering. What
Oh
do you
yeah, the
mean?
old stutter. Yep.
And I was like, quit acting stupid. I said, quit acting stupid. I said, you left. You left. You knew I was passed the fuck out. I couldn't even walk. I told you no. I remember that specifically. And and he was like, "No, you're a fucking liar, and fuck you. You're just because I'm a YouTuber. You're just trying to get clout off of me and blah blah blah." I was like, "You think I would want any kind of clout off of you? Are you kidding me?
You don't even have a
Like,
channel or anything,
really?"
right? Do you have a YouTube channel or?
I have one, but I'm not doing anything right
Okay.
now.
Well,
You know,
obviously.
so yeah,
Okay.
so it's not a big deal to me. You know.
Okay.
And so, and then after that, he continued to call me. And so over and over and over. And I told him that after that we had that conversation, I said, "Don't ever call me." And I have a bad feeling that he did film whatever we did, this was
Man.
3 years ago, you know. So
Was
whatever
he
we
still
did,
broadcasting over at his parents' house at that time?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
What? And can I ask you something before I forget? What? What? What?
yeah.
What is he? He seems to always go to these casinos because even these last like few months, it seemed like he was getting these kind of same thing, asking all these females for rides to this casino. What does he do there? Does he actually sit there and gamble? I mean, he.
Yes, he
So
does.
this is this money that he's getting from donators. He's obviously gambling because he doesn't work.
Yes,
I'm
he does
assuming.
gamble. I mean,
Well, there you
because
go,
he
ladies and
even,
gentlemen. So if you're wondering what else he does other than drugs, is he's a fucking gambling addict. All right.
I mean,
Remember
he
Blade?
does.
Remember Blade?
Because
Everybody's wondering why he was still broke because he's getting hundreds of dollars all the time.
he even gave me money to gamble on one time.
Oh, yeah, mister. I need money for food. I need money for that.
It's
Get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not trying to change the subject. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue on. I was just wondering what the hell was going on. Because I had people tell me that he was possibly, and that's why I asked, committing crimes at these casinos, maybe robbing people. Maybe there's prostitution going on and stuff. And, I don't know. So that's why I asked. So it sounds like the guy just likes to go and gamble, basically, I guess, at the casino. From your experiences with them is what you're saying, right? Are you all right? Can you hear me? Oh, Danielle, I don't know if we got disconnected, but it looks like we did. I don't know if we were having an audio issue or not. Looks like she was looking down at the phone, and then somehow we got disconnected. So if Claire comes back up in the back room, I'll bring her up. But I appreciate Claire, coming up. I'll tell you what, from a lot of the people that have reached out to me, she's back. I was going to say it takes a lot for somebody to come up and speak about that. All right. So Claire's back up in the back. So let me bring her up. Hey, Claire. Are you all right? Danielle, sorry. I'm seeing Claire and Danielle. My apologies. I'm
fine.
reading the chat and then I'm trying to. I forgot. I apologize, Danielle.
You're fine. You're fine. I gotta hurry because my kids get.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you with the casino question. Thank you for answering it. So continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. But yeah, even when I went to the casino with him one time, and he gave me like $80 to
damn.
Blow
this guy's got a child that he's never even sent a single penny to. And I mean, nothing against giving money to you, but I just think it's kind of
that is
the irony.
Awful.
Yeah, it is
awful. Yeah, and I remember he was talking. He tried to talk shit about her to me, and now I see him. He's an absolute compulsive liar. He is a manipulator. He is an abusive person. He is obsessive. I think he's bipolar. I mean, this is all my own opinion.
Sure, I'm agreeing with
Okay?
you on all of that right now.
And I think he has serious problems because he stalked my house. It wasn't even 2 weeks ago that he came to my house.
Oh,
As
wow.
soon as my son and my mother left my house, like as soon as they left. I don't know where he was. My mom didn't see him or anything. And he had an older woman with him with long hair, blonde hair.
Well, were they in like a vehicle parked in front of your house, you're saying? Like
No.
they came to your house.
No car, nothing.
They just knocking on your door then. Mom and child leave, you're saying, and then all of a sudden
Yes.
it's Skimask and this older woman 2 weeks ago.
Yes, and I hadn't seen him literally since that day, 3 years ago, that I told him,
Wow.
don't ever call me. And he came up and he was like, hey, I was wanting to see if you can either give me a ride. I said, nope, you need to get off my property now or I'm calling the cops.
Good for you.
He said, come on, can I get a water? Can we please come in? I said, absolutely the fuck not. You need to get the fuck off my property before I call the cops, and I'm about to dial it now.
Good for you.
And then the lady, he didn't say it. You could tell he was getting really mad. And the lady said, okay, I'm so sorry. We'll leave. And so he left. And then, I don't know. Thank God. He got arrested.
I'm very thankful that you were able to get out of that situation, and
because I've I'll just say this. The cops know about my situation.
Good. No, and rightfully so. And I'm going to point this out. I'm not going to mention names, but there's a lot of people. There's people that have literally have requested protective orders from other states. I mean, this guy has literally terrorized a lot of different people, okay?
Bad.
And a lot of them, they're all females, okay? All females. This is a pattern that's been going on for years, decades now.
Yeah.
So I'll let you finish up. I know you had to go, so I don't want to take from your time.
But yeah,
I can preach anytime.
You can tell he does it to females specifically. He targets females, and to help him act like he's kind at first, and then he tries to reel you in, and then it's just he's absolutely a narc. Everything. I mean, he is disturbing, and for me to even think that he was an okay person was
sure. Well, he's done that to a lot of people. Trust
me. I learned my lesson.
Well, I'm glad that you have, because unfortunately, there's some people that I know I don't think to your extent, but he's screwed over really hard, financially and in other ways, that still continue to think that he's a good guy, and for whatever reason, are.
Well, people need to be aware of him. I mean, just for their own, especially women. So
I agree,
and that's why
I want to say thank
you
for coming up here, because I think you've shared some really important information. Maybe people already knew, but I think the fact that it came from somebody else other than my mouth, somebody that's always considered a hater, something that it just shows that I'm really trying to protect a lot of people and hopefully prevent this from happening to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because he's a bad guy, and hopefully he'll change. For his better and his family's sake. I'm one of those type of people,
too.
like you.
I hope he does. But I came up here to help let women know that he puts on a big front for his audience.
I really appreciate that.
Just for their safety.
And I hope y'all listen to everything that Danielle said, because you did, and thank you for putting that out, because especially the second time, him coming after so much time is definitely really creepy, and showing up with another individual, to your family's house. You know what I mean? Like Yeah, and I'm glad that you were able to, get out of that situation the way you handled it. So
absolutely, and you know what? No hard feelings to Ski, nothing like that.
Absolutely.
I wish him the best, and I hope he does do better in life. But moving forward in my life, my life has done a complete 180 in the right way. Good,
Danielle.
So I don't mess with anybody that, does anything like that anymore. And I'm not about that life anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. So, yeah, and I'm sorry that, you being a good person had to get you to meet somebody like that. And I'm glad that you've learned from that.
It's a very valuable lesson. So,
sure. Sure.
it's all right. I learned from it and I grew
Sure.
from it.
I agree.
So,
I've gone through some of those before, so I completely understand with you.
yeah.
Well, I'll let you go, and I
All
appreciate you
right.
taking the time you did out of your day, and I think you've reached out a lot of people to a lot of people and opened up a lot of eyes, Danielle.
I hope so. All
I think you
right.
did. All right, you have a great day and stay safe.
You too.
Thank you,
Take
Danielle.
care. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye bye now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Danielle. And again, I want to say a big thank you to Danielle. And I apologize for mixing up the names earlier. I was just having one of those cross-eyed moments where I'm writing chat and I saw Claire, and then that got stuck in my head, even though it does not sound anything like Danielle. So again, to Danielle, I apologize, and to Claire, I apologize. But again, thank you again, Danielle, for coming up and taking the time out of your day to share that story with us and your personal, encounter with Skimask, and even up to most recent, just recently. And I'm glad that it worked out the way it did and that you managed to stay safe and keep your family safe. So please, I hope the people in chat, including, like Danielle said, the females, the ones that he targets, okay, that you see, you take, I know you can hate on me. I'm a male, right? I don't know him. I'm just a hater. But especially those one ladies that still stay in this chat, that after everything, after all the stuff I've said, after even knowing they for themselves can go on the website, they don't have to listen to it here and check all those charges and check into it and all that and read the incident report. And you're still in there, you're still enabling a guy that you see what he does to people. You see what he did to Danielle. You think she's the only one that he does this to? Hell no. And I know that for a fact because I've had a lot of his victims reach out to me, and I've shared a lot of their personal stories. And I know a lot of you have learned from that and moved on, and a lot of you haven't. And I'm not talking to you on chat. I'm talking to the ones that still call them friends, the enablers, okay? So, and it just sucks that somebody with a kind heart like her, and I know, and I'm going to tell you from my experience speaking with most of the people that have been in almost, and I wouldn't even say to the extent that it went with Danielle, because you got to remember, she now dealt with him personally, physically, okay? She had this guy in her car versus some of these people that just know him through the phone or through chat, okay? But even to that extent, those individuals he's hurt even figured out a way to really screw over without having to be right next to him. So imagine how scary it was in her situation, those times that stuff happened to her, and then for him to come back, all right, probably all spun out with this little, I don't know which chick he was with that. She said an older lady, okay, now over to her family's house asking her if I can come in. The fuck out of here, man. And it's most likely, I'm not going to do it now because we've spent a lot of time on this, but I'm curious to see if, and it's not important, but I'm curious, that time range that he was, trying to go over to Danielle's house was the same time that he tried to break into his mom's house where he picked up those charges that he ran from and now is in jail for, in addition to, I guess, this other charge he's picked up, the third, or I guess, what did we say? Yeah, we said what? Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, he had two separate cases, so he's now facing three different cases. The case from June, June. Then he did something in November where he picked up those two charges, and then he did something just this month, February 12th, and then they arrested him on the 14th. So I wonder if any of those time frames line up to when she had him trying to come over, and that's why he went over to the parents. Either way, it's not important. He's in jail now. He's where he belongs, and I think where he's going to get the most help. I think at this time, if you all really, if there's still people in here, and just like Danielle said, she means no ill, just like I do. But for those people that still want to see this guy get help and want to see him continue to do change something from his, out of his life, for whatever reason, for hopefully his family's reason, not just because you want to hope he comes back and, at least you can talk to him and he'll be in a better mood. No, I hope that you want this guy to change for his family. Remember, he's got a kid, okay? And from last I spoke to his family, they seem like when he's ready, when he's better himself, they would be willing to welcome, which is, in my opinion, for them to give him that chance, I would take that any way I could if I was him. So maybe he'll realize that now, or it'll be just like every other time, and he'll come out and be the same way. So either way, I guess we'll find out soon. But he is locked up. He was locked up this morning. Whether he's in a hospital, whether he's at the jail, I don't know. More news to come from this. Let's see. Let me just, so I can remind myself if he did. I didn't even notice if he had a pending court date. Let's go back. Let's go to the one from the 14th, the latest one. That was filed the 14th. Remember, the incident dates are a lot different than the date it was filed. So let's see here. Let's see if there's any court dates. I don't think they have any court dates yet. I wouldn't think they did. They would if they just booked him in this morning. But Some of these counties are pretty quick with that. Yeah, not yet. So as soon as I get a next court date, we'll see when it's up. Maybe we can even bring that to you live like we have before in the past. So I will keep my eye out on this, obviously, and as soon as I have a follow-up with you, I will. Same thing with all the other individuals we're following, between Saint, him, and all the other people. As soon as I get update information, I'll be here as quick as I can to update you all. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining me on this breaking news update. I know it's a last-minute request to get you guys in here, and is why I always say if you want to keep up to date with the NJ Courts TV channel, make sure you got those notifications on and are subscribed. I think you have to be subscribed first, then you can turn on all notifications. So, because sometimes I get people like, I'm subscribed, but I don't get the notifications. It's because it populates you automatically when you subscribe. It just puts you on like custom notifications. You have to go back and set it on all notifications so that you get, the breaking news notifications and all that stuff. And like when I post something on the post page and things like that. So big thank you to all my members of the jury for being here today. Big thank you to all of my, members of my mod squad for being here on the last minute notice, especially, like I said, I kept you all up on a long day and night this weekend, so I appreciate all your hard work. Thank you for all the support we got today through donations, super chats, people celebrating anniversaries as members of the jury, and we had new memberships that were donated today and gifted. Thank you for all those individuals. Let me just go back and make sure I didn't miss any shout outs. I want to say a big thank you again for Danielle for coming up and sharing her story and experience about Skimask. That takes a lot of courage, trust me. And I really appreciate that. I think she reached out to a lot of people, and I think at this time was the best time to do it. So I really hope that a lot of people can appreciate that she had the chutzpah to come up and share her story, because it really does take a lot. You see how people are on the internet, okay? Anybody could have just pretended to be a voice or said something in chat, and that still doesn't really give verification. I think seeing her in person and seeing the story come out of her mouth really told you that, yeah, everything happened the way it did. So, and thank you again, Danielle, for sharing that. I don't see any new notifications. Doesn't look like I missed anything. So again, I want to say thank you to everybody who joined me on today's breaking news broadcast, with more to come. With that being said, you guys know what I'm going to do next. So don't say I didn't warn you to take those earbuds out or lower your volume. And actually, I'm not going to scream it too loud because I'm going to give myself a headache. Thank you for hanging in with me. I know I wasn't of the best attitude that I usually like to be, but I tried. I'm telling you, I'm still hurting a bit. I thought it was actually better. I felt better, but I think the day two is starting to kick in. Yesterday was no way, Jose. If I would have came up, I would have threw up, okay? So even if he would have been arrested yesterday, I would have had to wait till today to break that news. But happened this morning, so you got it as it just happened. And there you go, NJ Courts TV with your breaking news. So please don't forget, keep that head on a swivel. Check that 6 every once in a while. Keep yourself vigilant, all right? You see how important it is, just like in Danielle's case, how she kept herself vigilant, protect herself and family, all right? And at the end of the day, please take some time to love somebody, okay? And be careful, okay? Like Danielle said, we learn from our lessons, which is great, but you can still be cautious, just be a little careful, especially with strangers. But remember, don't let that take away from your, just natural gift of wanting to help people like me and the rest of a lot of you all in chat and people that I meet. So, and I'm thankful to meet. So I know there's a lot of caring people here that are not just here trying to, talk shit about Skimask situation and hope I'm the worst. I know a lot of people here in chat care about this guy, surprisingly, and want to see the best for him. So, and I appreciate those people as well. I really do, amongst what the haters say. But with that being said, NJ Courts is officially, and this is probably the most least unenergized way I've ever done it in my last 3 years, and no, hell no, is out of here. I was gonna do it the same way. Gotcha. No, I still feel like shit, though. I'm probably gonna throw up now. No, but for reals, NJ Courts is out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you on the next one. I don't have anything planned, but I'm working on it. All right. Now, if you need some more content to follow, hey, I've got plenty of it. We did a Rock and Gem Mineral Show stream, a road trip during the day, Sunday during the day, and then we did our party, 6K party that you may not have joined in on. And again, we had a surprise visit at the end. Actually, we had a few callers, and I want to say thank you to all the callers that called in. Surprising, they were all great callers, okay? Great feedback. I was expecting haters, not one hater. gave him the opportunity to call, just shows, and I think it proved to the internet how just, and I'm going to say it last, I'm not going to be negative about it, but just how much of a pussy you fucking haters really are, and all you got is just your keyboard. Anyways, I'll end it on that note, but in case you need some more content, I got a lot of odds up. I got an 8-hour fucking party you can watch, and again, if you watch it till the end or just fast forward, we had a surprise guest call-in from President Donald Trump and Alex Jones trying to sell that bone broth. All right. You all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday morning for some people and afternoon for others. NJ Courts is out of here.